The world of work, it feels like it's spinning faster than ever these days, doesn't it?
It really
We
does.
hear this term VUCA environment all the time.
Mm.
Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity.
Hmm.
And it feels like in this kind of, well, chaotic landscape, the old ways of leading, they're just not cutting it anymore.
No, definitely not. That traditional top-down command and control,
hmm
it feels really outdated.
Yeah, almost counterproductive sometimes. So today, we're doing a deep dive into what feels like a really profound shift in leadership.
Okay.
Moving away from that rigid hierarchical authority we just mentioned towards a new way centered much more on emotional intelligence.
A really important shift.
Our mission really is to unpack what this means, why it's happening now, and how it impacts success both for organizations and for you in your own career.
And it's not just like management theory, is it? There's real data behind this.
Exactly. It's backed by some solid research, real-world evidence. We'll touch on the old model's flaws, break down emotional intelligence, or EI, look at the proof, and even the practical challenges of making this shift. Ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's do it. It's a critical conversation.
So that traditional command and control model, you said it feels outdated. Where did it come from, and why is it struggling so much now?
Well, it worked quite well in more stable times, right? Think industrial age, predictable environments. Everyone had a clear role, like a cog in a machine. Decisions flowed down.
Very linear.
Very linear, very predictable. But that predictability is exactly what's gone missing in this VUCA world.
So the machine jams up.
Pretty much, it becomes a bottleneck instead of an efficient system.
Okay, so beyond just the speed of things, what are the specific ways it's failing? Where do those cracks really appear?
Well, one of the biggest issues our sources point to is how it just stifles innovation and autonomy, too.
How?
When leaders are just giving orders, employees tend to become, well, passive executors. They stop thinking proactively, stop bringing forward those potentially game-changing ideas.
Because they're just waiting for instructions.
Exactly. You can't really foster creativity or progress that way. It cools it.
And I guess that has a big impact on talent, especially now. People don't want to be micromanaged, do they?
No way.
Yeah.
Today's professionals, particularly talented ones, they just won't tolerate it. Or toxic environments where their input isn't valued.
They'll just leave.
They will. They're looking for places where they feel heard, respected, empowered. So leaders stuck in that old mode, they're seeing high turnover. It's costly.
Yeah. Losing good people is always expensive. And what about managing change? That seems like a constant now. How does the old model handle that?
Poorly, frankly.
Yeah.
When big decisions are just imposed from the top, you almost always get resistance.
Because people don't feel involved.
Right. They don't understand the why. They don't feel any ownership.
Yeah.
So getting genuine buy-in, which you need for real adaptation, becomes incredibly difficult. True change needs everyone on board, not just following orders.
So this isn't just some abstract theory for CEOs. Whether you're leading now, hoping to lead, or just, part of a team, these dynamics are shaping your daily work, your job satisfaction, your career path. It really matters to you.
It absolutely does.
Okay, so the old model is clearly under strain. What's this emerging framework then? This is where emotional intelligence, EI, comes in. For anyone maybe less familiar, can you break down what EI actually is and who are the key people who brought it into the spotlight?
Sure. Emotional intelligence at its heart is about being smart about emotions, both your own and other people's. It's the capacity to recognize them, understand them, and manage them effectively. The idea has been around in psychology for a while, but Peter Salovey and John Mayer really defined it academically in the early 90s. Then Daniel Goleman, he's the one who really popularized it, especially in the context of leadership, with his book.
Right. Golan's work is pretty well known.
Yeah. And for leaders, this isn't just a soft skill. It breaks down into 4 really crucial areas or domains that basically dictate how effective they are.
His 4-domain model, yeah. Let's walk through those. What's the first one? The foundation.
The absolute foundation is self-awareness. This is knowing your own moods, your emotions, your impulses, and critically understanding how they affect other people.
So knowing your own triggers and blind spots.
Exactly. A leader high in self-awareness knows their strengths, admits their weaknesses, operates with some humility. They understand why they feel or react a certain way and how that comes across. It's like having an internal emotional compass.
That makes sense. Knowing yourself is one thing, but then actually controlling those reactions, especially when things get stressful. That leads to the second domain, right? Self-management.
Precisely. Self-management or self-regulation. This is the ability to control or redirect those disruptive impulses, to think before you leave, basically.
Keeping your cool.
Yes. But it's more than just that. It's about acting with integrity, being trustworthy. It also includes being adaptable, handling change well, having that drive to achieve, and maintaining optimism, even when facing setbacks. Emotionally intelligent leaders don't let their feelings run the show.
Okay, so we've got awareness and management of the self. The next domain shifts outwards, focusing on others. Social awareness or empathy?
Right. Social awareness and empathy is key here, but it's a specific kind of empathy. It's the ability to understand the emotional landscape of other people, to tune into how they're feeling and respond appropriately.
So it's not just feeling sorry for someone.
Not at all. It's deeper than sympathy. It's about genuinely understanding their perspective, their concerns, what motivates them, even if you don't agree with it. This is so vital when you're managing diverse teams, maybe even global teams. You have to be able to see things from their viewpoint.
Got it. And then the fourth domain ties it all together in how you act, relationship management.
Exactly. Relationship management, sometimes called social skills. This is where you put all that awareness of self and others into practice. It's about building strong relationships, finding common ground, creating rapport.
So this is where influence and inspiration come in.
Absolutely. It covers inspiring others, influencing effectively, helping people develop, managing conflicts constructively, and being a catalyst for change in the organization. It's really about skillfully managing interactions to build those high-performing collaborative teams.
It's a lot to think about. And as you're listening, maybe reflect on these self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship management. How do you see them playing out in your own work life? Or where could you develop them? Because these really are practical skills.
They really are.
Yeah.
And developable skills, which is key.
Okay, so we've got a handle on what EI is. But let's tackle that perception issue. A lot of people might still dismiss it as soft skills. Nice, maybe, but not essential for business success. The evidence argues strongly against that, doesn't it? What did Goldman's own research find?
Found something pretty dramatic, actually. He looked at data from hundreds of companies, and what emerged was that almost 90% of the difference between star performers in leadership roles and average ones. It wasn't down to technical skills or pure IQ.
90%. So what was it down to?
Emotional intelligence factors, specifically things like the ability to manage their own stress effectively under pressure and the skill to navigate and diffuse conflict using empathy. These often mattered more than, say, just being outgoing or charismatic. It's a huge statistic supporting EI as the real differentiator.
Wow, 90%, that's hard to ignore. And it wasn't just Goldman. Google, famously data-obsessed Google, ran a huge internal study, Project Aristotle, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out what makes their teams click. What did they find?
Yeah, you'd think Google, of all places, would point to individual brilliance or coding skills or something.
Right.
But no. After analyzing hundreds of teams, the #1 factor they found for team success was psychological safety.
Psychological safety. What does that mean exactly?
It's that shared belief within the team that it's okay to take risks, to speak up with a crazy idea, to admit a mistake, or even to challenge something without fear of being punished or humiliated.
Okay, feeling safe to be vulnerable, essentially.
Exactly. And creating that environment. It flows directly from the leader's emotional intelligence, their empathy, their openness, how non-judgmental they are. An EI leader fosters that safety net where people can actually bring their whole selves to work and contribute fully.
So EI doesn't just impact the leader's performance, it directly shapes the team's effectiveness and climate.
Fundamentally.
And what about the broader business results? We have things like the Gallup engagement studies. They paint a stark picture too, don't they?
They really do. Gallup's research consistently links low employee engagement, where people feel disconnected, to really damaging outcomes. We're talking significantly higher turnover, like 18 to 43% higher in some cases.
Ouch.
Yeah, and 37% more absenteeism, just people not showing up.
Yeah.
But the flip side is just as powerful.
Okay.
Teams that report a high emotional connection to their leader and the company. They're not just happier, they're way more productive, measurably more profitable. Gallup found around 21% higher profitability and much more loyal.
21% higher profitability. That's not soft. That's a serious bottom line impact.
Absolutely undeniable.
And there's even neuroscience behind this, isn't there? Something about how emotions are literally contagious in a group?
Yes, exactly. Social neuroscience has shown this really fascinating mechanism involving mirror neurons in our brains. And essentially, we're wired to pick up on and even sort of catch the emotions of those around us, especially leaders.
Like emotional Wi-Fi.
That's a great way to put it. So, a leader who is calm, focused, positive. They can literally help instill that state in their team, improving clarity, decision-making, everything.
And the opposite is also true.
Unfortunately, yes. An anxious, stressed, or fearful leader can unintentionally spread that anxiety through the team like wildfire, hindering performance and making people afraid to take necessary risks. The leader sets the emotional tone, consciously or not.
So summing up this evidence part, it seems clear. This isn't just theory or wishful thinking. We have statistical findings, major organizational studies, business results, even brain science, all pointing to the same thing. Emotional intelligence is critically measurably valuable.
It's foundational for success in today's world, no question.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. If we were to distill the most crucial takeaways from this deep dive into the shift towards emotionally intelligent leadership, what would they be?
Well, I think the absolute biggest one is that EI is the critical predictor of who truly excels on leadership. Your IQ and your technical skills, they might get you the job, get you in the door.
The entry ticket.
Kind of, yeah. But it's the emotional intelligence that really determines who thrives, who inspires others, and who ultimately falters, especially in complex situations. It's the difference maker.
That really reframes things. And it changes the whole idea of what a leader does, doesn't it? Our sources talked about a shift towards servant leadership.
Exactly. The modern view is that leadership is fundamentally about service. Serving your team.
How so? What does that look like?
It means removing obstacles that get in their way, making sure they have the resources they need, actively investing in their development, and creating that psychologically safe space we talked about, where they can experiment and grow. The leader isn't just the boss. They're an enabler.
Empowering people rather than just directing them.
Precisely.
And if that's the role, then authority itself must change too. It's not just about the title anymore.
No, absolutely not. Real authority today, true influence, it's earned. It comes from the respect, the trust, the admiration that a leader builds through their actions, through demonstrating that emotional intelligence.
Not just imposed by the org chart.
Right. People follow because they want to connect with that leader's vision and integrity,
Yeah.
not just because they report to them. It's a much stronger, more sustainable kind of authority.
And for organizations listening, wondering if investing in developing EI is worth it, the message seems clear.
Unmistakably clear. There's a measurable return on investment, or ROI. Developing leaders' EI leads directly to tangible benefits. Higher productivity, lower turnover, which saves a lot of money, a better workplace climate, more innovation, more agility. It's not a nice-to-have budget item. It's a strategic investment.
Makes sense. But of course, shifting towards this model isn't always easy. No major changes. What are some of the big hurdles or challenges organizations run into when they try to embrace this?
That's a really important point. One major challenge is just measurement and evaluation. How do you objectively assess EI? It's much trickier than testing technical skills.
Right. You can't just give someone a multiple choice test on empathy.
Exactly. It requires more sophisticated approaches, things like 360-degree feedback, where you get input from peers, direct reports, managers, also behavioral interviews, careful observation. A lot of organizations just aren't set up for that kind of in-depth assessment yet.
And beyond the practical tools, there can be mindset issues too, right? Cultural resistance.
Definitely. In some more traditional, perhaps very hierarchical cultures, or even just older ways of thinking, EI can still be dismissed as soft, sometimes even seen as, unmasculine or not tough enough for leadership.
Which is a damaging stereotype.
A huge one.
Yeah.
And those biases need to be challenged directly with the kind of data we've been discussing, showing the actual impact on hard results.
Yeah.
It takes effort to shift those deep-seated perceptions.
And assuming an organization buys in and wants to develop this, it's not a quick fix, is it? You can't just send leaders to a half-day workshop.
Oh, absolutely not. Developing these competencies, self-awareness, empathy, managing relationships, it's a continuous journey. It requires ongoing coaching, regular feedback, and importantly, deliberate practice over time.
So it requires real commitment of time and resources.
Significant commitment, yes, which can be a challenge for busy organizations. But the payoff is there if they stick with it.
And one last challenge, maybe looking forward. Artificial intelligence. AI is automating so much. Does that make these human skills less important or maybe more?
That's such a fascinating question, and I think the consensus is leaning heavily towards more important. As AI takes over more routine cognitive tasks, data analysis, even some decision-making,
Yeah.
the uniquely human skills, the things AI can't easily replicate, deep empathy, complex creativity, building trust, managing nuanced relationships, they become even more valuable differentiators.
So the challenge isn't AI replacing leaders, but leaders learning to leverage AI.
Exactly. leveraging AI as a tool to free themselves up to focus more on the high-value human elements of leadership. It actually makes AI potentially more critical than ever.
Interesting. So as you listen, think about these challenges. Measurement, culture, development time, integrating AI.
Hmm.
How could you maybe play a part in tackling these in your own workplace or team? It's definitely a collective effort.
Hmm.
So we've really explored this major shift today, haven't we? Moving from that old hierarchical model to leadership centered on emotional intelligence. It feels less like a trend and more like a necessary evolution for navigating the world we live in now.
I completely agree. It's about effectiveness, but it's also about creating more fulfilling, sustainable workplaces.
And the evidence backs it up from individual performance to team dynamics to the actual bottom line.
The case is pretty compelling.
So maybe a final thought to leave everyone with, something provocative to mull over.
Okay, how about this? The future of leadership. It isn't some far-off concept. It's actually already here. The leaders and the organizations that truly grasp that leadership greatness isn't just about their own achievements, but about the growth and success of the people around them, and who actively, deliberately work on cultivating their own emotional intelligence. They are the ones who are going to build the most prosperous, the most adaptive, and fundamentally the most human organizations of tomorrow.
That's a powerful vision and a great challenge for all of us, really. We hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights to reflect on and maybe apply in your own leadership journey wherever you are on it. Keep pursuing that deeper understanding. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for the great conversation.